Titanoboa was an absolute unit of a snake. It had a body like a train, and it ate pretty much anything that crossed its path. This colossal reptile is one of the largest land-dwelling creatures to ever exist. It's a wonder how such a huge beast could even survive. Today, we will be going over the top 10 unbelievable facts about Titanoboa. Make sure to stay tuned for no one, because it involves just how big this thing actually was. Number 10, a true giant. Titanoboa was truly a giant among giants. When paleontologists first discovered its remains in 2009, they estimated its length to be around 13 meters long and about 1.5 meters wide. That's roughly 42 feet long and nearly 5 feet wide. However, recent studies have shown that these measurements might just be the tip of the iceberg. In 2021, researchers used advanced imaging techniques to get a clearer picture of Titanoboa's skeleton. They found that the vertebrae in the middle of the snake's body were much larger than those at the ends. This suggested that Titanoboa had a much thicker middle section than previously thought. By extrapolating from the center of its body, scientists were able to estimate the maximum possible width of the snake. And guess what? It could reach a whopping 2.5 meters wide, or over 8 feet. So the previous estimate of 5 feet was way off. It's likely that Titanoboa's body had a slight taper towards the ends, similar to modern-day anacondas. So, then the total length of the snake could have been even greater than 13 meters. Titanoboa would have looked like a gigantic sea serpent slithering through the water with its humongous body. The discovery of Titanoboa has challenged our understanding of what animals are capable of growing to, and has left scientists baffled by its sheer size. Number 9. Gigantic teeth. Just imagine being attacked by a monstrous snake with teeth like daggers. That was a reality for the animals that crossed paths with Titanoboa. This reptile had teeth as long as 26 centimeters each, which is about the same length as a human hand. These teeth were not only incredibly sharp, but also serrated like a shark's tooth. They were perfectly designed for catching and holding onto prey while crushing its bones. Titanoboa's teeth were also replaced continuously throughout its life. This meant that it always had a fresh set of razor-sharp chompers, ready to deliver a fatal bite. It's no wonder that Titanoboa was the ultimate apex predator in its ecosystem. Number 8. Small head, big body. When you think of a gigantic snake, you probably imagine a creature with a massive head to match its enormous body. But that wasn't the case for Titanoboa. Its head was relatively small compared to its body, measuring around 30 centimeters long. This would make Titanoboa the longest animal with the smallest head relative to its body size. Now, don't get us wrong, that's still a big head, but considering its overall size, it was pretty petite. This unique feature sets Titanoboa apart from other giant snakes, like the reticulated python and the green anaconda, both of which have proportionally larger heads. It's possible that Titanoboa's small head was an adaptation to help it move through dense vegetation with ease. After all, having a huge head could have made it difficult to navigate tight spaces. Instead, Titanoboa opted for a sleek, streamlined head that allowed it to slip between plants with grace. Number 7. Ancient origins. Titanoboa is an ancient species that lived on Earth millions of years ago during the Cretaceous period. It first appeared in the fossil record around 60 million years ago and dominated the landscape till its extinction 30 million years ago. It's a pretty impressive reign, especially when you consider that Titanoboa was a reptile. Reptiles typically have a reputation for being slow-moving creatures that take their time, but Titanoboa was anything but slow. It was a highly successful predator that thrived for millions of years. What's more, its origins can be traced back to a smaller ancestor called Titanoboa. Over time, Titanoboa evolved into a larger, more powerful form, eventually giving rise to the colossal Titanoboa. Number 6. The power of hibernation. Titanoboa was a cold-blooded creature that relied on the sun to regulate its body temperature. In order to survive, it needed to bask in the sun for hours each day to warm up. But what did it do when the temperatures dropped below zero during the winter months? The answer is hibernation. Like many reptiles today, Titanoboa would hibernate during the winter to conserve energy and survive the cold weather. This involves slowing down its metabolism and entering a state of inactivity. Hibernation isn't the same as being dead. The animal's heart rate, breathing, and other vital functions slowed down dramatically, but they didn't stop entirely. Titanoboa likely hibernated in underground burrows or under piles of leaves and debris. This would have protected it from predators and the harsh weather conditions, allowing it to emerge in the spring, ready to hunt. Number 5. A diet fit for a king. Titanoboa was an apex predator that sat at the top of the food chain. It was the ultimate boss of its ecosystem, and its diet reflected its dominant position. Titanoboa was an opportunistic hunter, meaning it would eat pretty much anything that crossed its path. This included mammals, birds, fish, amphibians, and other reptiles. It was particularly fond of large prey animals like deer and horses, but it wasn't above eating smaller creatures like mice and birds. No prey was too big or too small for Titanoboa. It was known to tackle prey animals twice its size, and it would often eat multiple meals in a single day. With a stomach that could stretch to accommodate large prey, Titanoboa was truly the king of the jungle. Number 4. Living in groups. Most people imagine that apex predators live solitary lives, hunting alone and taking care of their own. But Titanoboa was a social creature that lived in groups. These groups consisted of several individuals that shared a common territory and hunted together. This behavior allowed them to take down larger prey animals that they couldn't handle on their own. Working together, Titanoboa could ambush unsuspecting herds of animals and feed on the carcasses. This cooperative hunting strategy may have also helped Titanoboa defend itself against potential threats. After all, there were other large predators living during the Cretaceous period, such as the terrifying Tyrannosaurus rex. By sticking together, Titanoboa could have formed a formidable defense against any danger. Number 3. Not just in the movies. People have been fascinated by giant snakes for centuries. But it's not uncommon to hear stories of enormous serpents slithering through the jungle and snatching unsuspecting prey. Take, for example, the legend of the Champ, a massive snake said to inhabit the depths of Lake Champlain in Vermont and New Hampshire. Or the tales of the Casto sea monster, a gigantic snake-like creature reported in the waters off the coast of South Australia. These are just a few examples of the many giant snake sightings that have been reported around the world. While most of these stories can be attributed to folklore and mythology, some have been backed up by physical evidence. For example, in 2009, fishermen in Brazil claimed to have caught a giant anaconda that measured over 30 meters long. Although the story was met with skepticism from some experts, others argued that it was plausible, considering the size of anacondas can reach. Ultimately, the truth behind these giant snake sightings remains a mystery. Number 2. The truth about bones. When paleontologists discovered the fossilized remains of Titanoboa, they were shocked by its sheer size. The fossils revealed that Titanoboa was the largest snake to ever exist, measuring an incredible 13 meters long and weighing over 1,100 kilograms. That's longer than a Tyrannosaurus rex and heavier than a walrus. But despite its massive size, Titanoboa's bones were surprisingly lightweight. This was due to a number of factors, including its hollow bones and air sacs. Hollow bones are a common adaptation among snakes, allowing them to be flexible and agile while reducing their overall weight. Air sacs are also found in many reptiles and birds and help reduce the density of their bones. These adaptations allowed Titanoboa to move through its environment with ease, even though it weighed as much as a fully grown giraffe. Number 1. Where they can be found. Titanoboa fossils have been found in multiple locations across North America, Europe, and Asia. However, the majority of its remains have been discovered in the northeastern United States, specifically in the state of North Carolina. The first Titanoboa fossils were found in 1929 by paleontologist Charles A.W. Reed. He unearthed vertebrae and ribs near the town of Blowing Rock in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Since then, dozens of other specimens have been discovered in the area, providing scientists with a wealth of information about this ancient giant. The abundance of Titanoboa fossils in North Carolina suggests that the state may have been a hotspot for these creatures during the Cretaceous period. Perhaps there were more Titanoboa specimens there than anywhere else in the world. Well, folks, there you have it. The top 10 unbelievable facts about Titanoboa. From its gigantic teeth to its tiny head, this ancient reptile was truly one of a kind. Do you know any other facts about Titanoboa that we missed? Share your knowledge in the comments below. And don't forget to stay tuned for more fascinating videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.